Welcome to Woodshop 101, a woodworking audio podcast geared toward the hobby weekend woodworker. Your hosts for the show are Jeremy Crawford and Drew Shore. Join these two different craftsmen for a lighthearted banter about everything woodworking, online education, and how they produce content. Topics could include the latest news, tips, tricks, and designs, to include furniture, crafts, and shop projects. All right, welcome to episode number 32 of March 13th, 2016. Today we're going to talk about blogging and woodworking and why it's important for your business. We're joined by the DIYHuntress herself, Sam Raimondi. How are you, Sam?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of exhausted. I'm ready for a vacation from my vacation.
I feel like
nice to have a vacation.
Drew, don't even talk. You went to Florida, then you're going to California, then you're going to Atlanta.
I went to Florida for 2 days.
Is that
3 days?
Is that 3 more days than what I got to go to Florida?
But yeah, but you got to go to Great Wolf Lodge and chillax in a hotel room.
Look, I don't know if chillaxing is the word for it.
When there are kids involved, it's not chillaxing.
No, you take Hannah and find out if.
I did.
For how many days?
It was 5.
How old was she?
Took her for 5. At the time, she was 3.
Okay. Take her when she's about almost 6, and she gets way into that Magic Quest game. We spent 7 or 8 hours running around the hotel doing Magic Quest, trying to find little magic boxes. I'm tired. I've probably climbed 200 flights of stairs.
Got some exercise, I mean.
See, she's got the right idea.
Yeah.
Stay positive.
But it was vacation. I took a vacation from exercise. So
That's called quitting.
no, it's not. It's a vacation. Because tomorrow morning I start at 5 a.m. on a new workout program. I'm doing Camp Gladiator. Have y'all heard about that?
I have not.
It's an outdoor group workout. Somehow I got suckered into doing it, and I got suckered into the 5 a.m. So I'm going to have to get up at 4 just to get over there. It's probably about a 30-minute drive from me.
Nope.
So
I'm not nope.
Do you wear the outfits with the sword and shields too?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, sweet.
Yeah.
Sandals? That's nice.
Tights. The whole 9 yards.
They wear tights. I don't think they wear tights.
All I know is I heard 5 a.m. and I'm just like, no thanks.
The fact that I got to get up earlier just to do it. And it's a month-long program, 3 days a week, so it's gonna be interesting.
More power to you.
I'm gonna wake you up, Drew. I'm gonna text you. I'll make you get out of bed. Get back to that P90X.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit.
So, all right, Sam. Well, for the people that don't know who you are, you want to give a brief introduction on yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Sam. I am a DIY blogger. My blog is called DIYHuntress. I've been blogging for about almost 4 years, so like 3.5 years. My blog started as more of a crafting type blog, and now it's moving more towards kind of like beginner and basic woodworking projects. And yeah, that's about it. Other than that, I'm a PhD student. I'm getting my PhD in school psychology right now. I'll be a doctor in 1 year. I'm so excited. And I'm a yoga teacher, and I also work with students with disabilities. So I'm doing a lot, but I love everything I do, and it's awesome.
Jeez, you got a full schedule.
Yeah, I'm a pretty busy girl.
No, I thought mine was busy, but
Yeah, he complains about Great Wolf Lodge for a week, and you're just like, yeah, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this.
yeah, but I'm gonna turn around and now work tomorrow from like 5 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Hey, everyone's busy in their own way. I get it. It's a lot. But I get to work with kids too, but I just get them during the day and then I get to come home. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. You have to just hand them off.
Like that's. I guess that's what my mom always says. Now that she's got grandkids, it's nice to have grandkids because you can give them back.
Yeah.
You get them when you want them, you can give them back.
Well, I've seen the pictures of you doing the yoga poses, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she does that a lot or if she teaches it. And that kind of answered that question.
Yeah, I'm a teacher. I did my certification in the fall, so I became a certified teacher in November. And now I'm teaching, a few times a week, and I love it, man. It's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're a lot more limber than I am. I saw that one where you had your hands behind your back, sitting in cross-legged, and I'm just like, oh, that looks painful.
Everyone was like, are your arms detached? I was like, I kind of wish I could probably do really cool stuff if I could just like pick them up and pull them off a few times.
Well, if you look at it just right, it looks like your head's turned around the other way.
Exorcism.
You're the one that caught kicking a ceiling at work.
It was a door jam, but okay, yeah. Or an exit sign. I tried to kick an exit sign, too.
I can lift my foot about 3 feet.
Hey, it's something.
That's about how limber I am.
That's good for a kneecap shot.
There you go. So, all right, well, what's going on in you guys' shop? Drew, what do you got going on?
Well, right now
I'm making half-lap videos.
Hey, that has got a really good response. I've been really pleased with that. That was just kind of a whim on whether or not it was going to work out. But I started a new series called Join It, and it's just basically breaking down all kinds of joints, some that I've done, some that I haven't done, showing people the tips and tricks that I do to set up the joint that save me time, save me measurements, like the half-lap joint. I kind of developed that over the past year because I got tired of, just kind of nibbling away at it till I got it just right. So I wanted to kind of share that knowledge with everyone. So I'm probably going to break down several more joints, and I've been looking at Pinterest for some joints that I've never seen before or even attempted to know how they go together. So I've got to do some homework. But it's got a good response, and I had to do a follow-up video because there were some questions that people were asking that I kind of left out of my original video, and I was like, well, crap, I forgot that part. So I've been real pleased. So I've got to start building a picture frame for my mother-in-law. It's actually 2 picture frames, and I've got a couple of charity walks one charity walk and a baseball team. And I've got to build a frame for a raffle for that charity walk. And I sponsored a little bit of money for that, for both causes. So yeah, I've got to build those, and I'm going to incorporate the half-lap joint in one of those picture frames.
Cool.
Awesome. What's the next joint you're going to do? Can you give an
I'll go ahead and let it out because I think I've told a few people here and there. But the other picture frame is going to be a sliding dovetail miter joint, and it will be done on the table saw and router. But that is going to require very precise measuring and cutting and angulations. They've got to be exact for those sliding dovetails to be nice and snug.
Yeah.
So it's going to be challenging.
Are you going to do a video just over that joint?
Yeah, I'll be breaking down the picture frame half-lap one separately, and then I'll do another video on the sliding dovetail, and then doing a Join It series on that one as well.
Awesome.
Just should make you feel good. You were the first 2 videos I watched when I woke up this morning.
Hey, man, I thought something just made me feel a lot better when I woke up.
Yeah, see? I mean, I've really been unplugged for the last week. I've been on Facebook a little bit. I think I got on Instagram 2 or 3 times this entire week. And when I actually got on and looked at my RSS reader, I had probably 60 videos to catch up on from the last week or week and a half. So that's been the better part of my day.
So out of those 60, you picked me first.
Yeah.
Flattered.
Yeah, it is. Just make me turn red.
I mean, you want me to tell you I picked you first? or much less you were at the top?
Oh. No, I prefer the pick me part.
Okay. Well, I mean, however you look at it, you were at the top of the list to watch. Because I knew that you wouldn't let me live it down if I came on and recorded and I hadn't watched your videos yet.
Well, you've already been given a hard time about that once or twice.
So I'll make sure I stay on it.
What about you, man?
Nothing. Literally nothing. The last week. Been on vacation. Took a break from everything. And I got in my dad's shop a little bit Friday night. Helped him for about 30 or 45 minutes. Just, he's working on, I don't know, something he found on Pinterest, a towel holder made from an old chair torn apart. I don't know. But he needed a little shelf made for it, and it's literally 2 pieces of wood pocket hole together at a 90 degrees. I made that up for him, got it measured out and the holes drilled out for him, and then left it, went back inside and drank a beer and played with my kids. So
sounds like the sofa table.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not, and here's the thing is, if I get out there and start working on it, then I'm going to be out there until it's done, and it's not my project, and if I make it, it might not be exactly how he wants it, and so I did the part that he wanted me to do, and then walked away from it. So, and that's the best part of a project. I can only do what I want and then walk away.
You were subcontracted for pocket holes.
Me. He macrimoned me.
Yeah, he did.
But no, it literally the last week. I mean, I left. I didn't even walk into the shop since I've been back last night. When I left, I have a ingrain cutting board on the workbench. I just need to flatten it out and do some roundovers and apply finish on it. And I don't know. I haven't really decided if I'm going to get in the shop today or if I'm just going to use today as a rest day. Kind of get acclimated to get ready for work tomorrow. But that will be done probably within the next few days. And then I'm going to start on the memory box for Brusso. That's running a few weeks behind, and that needs to get done ASAP so I can get paid for that. So, what do you got going on, Sam?
I've been working on a desk build for the past couple of weeks. My desk right now is pretty pathetic. It's like a piece of plywood held up by some legs. So I finally decided that it was time for me to spend some time making an actual project for myself. So I'm building a desk. I'll have the plans up on the blog at the end of the month, so I'm super excited about that. And I think I'm more excited, though, about having storage in my room to finally put away my clutter and pretend that I'm organized sometimes. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm liking it. It's almost done.
So what's the layout of the desk? Is it going to have storage drawers on both sides, or
so it's going to be giving you all my secrets now.
Well, you don't have to say. I'm just asking.
No, I'm just kidding. It's going to have like 3 drawers pretty much in the bulk of the desk and some cool legs. So it's pretty basic build. It's kind of cool. I'm hoping that some beginner woodworkers are going to want to get their feet wet with this one. But yeah, so it'd be cool.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I can't wait to share it.
I mean, the desk I'm using I actually picked up. When did I pick this up, Drew? Back at Christmas time, I think I picked it up. And I've been meaning to redo it, but it'll be on the back burner.
My back burner list is pretty long. Like, that thing just never shortens. You're always like, yeah, I'll add that one to the list. Like, no problem.
Yeah.
And you look at the list, you're like, why did I do all of this? Like, why is this my list right now?
And you don't know how you're going to accomplish it.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeremy knows the back burner list real well.
Look, there's only one project that's been started that's still on that back burner list, and that's that dining room table.
You have been catching up superbly, I must say. You've really devoted a lot of time to get everything done.
And you don't know how much it pains me to start a new project for Brusso before I actually complete that now, because I want it done. But it's a commission I went on with Brusso, so I need to get it done. But yeah, I don't want to start too many more projects. I mean, in probably 2 or 3 months, I'm going to be without a shop for a while, and I don't want to get in the middle of a project and not be able to complete it. So
that's fair.
But it is what it is. Hopefully, I'll have a better shop. In fact, my wife's actually been looking for houses that specifically that have better shops for me when we move. I don't know what's gotten into her, but I like it.
Is that like a thing by you? Because in New York, it's hard enough to find like a house to fit 2 people in for a good price. So like,
where do you live at in New York?
I'm on Long Island. I'm about 35 minutes outside of the city.
Okay. Well, I lived in Staten Island for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so you know all about it.
Oh yeah, living on top of each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, I mean, moving to South Carolina this summer, you never know what you're going to get. Like, I don't know if I'm going to go into a one-car garage and have to have that for a shop. But the fact that she's specifically looking for places that have a big shop space is a huge plus for me.
There you go. You've trained her.
She's a keeper.
She is. So,
how big is your shop, Sam?
Oh my God, I always say shop loosely in terms because it's basically I have this like shed in my backyard. It's a nice shed. It's got windows. It's like got double doors. So I'm kind of working out of half of that right now. So my shop's real tiny. The shed alone is, I don't even know if I know the dimensions offhand, but basically I probably only have like a 6 foot by 6 foot area to work in right now. It's real tiny, but because I have the double doors, it's cool. I can kind of like push everything outside when there isn't a lot of space. So working on big projects gets a little cramped in there. But I'm working on kind of like right now I'm sharing half of that space. My dad restores old cars, like really cool vintage cars. So he's keeping a lot of his stuff on one half of the shed. So once we can get rid of that, I'll have like the whole thing to kind of work in. So it's expanding slowly. I don't know if he loves that I'm like kicking all of his stuff out of my space, but it's getting there and I like it.
He probably likes seeing all that Ryobi green in there too. Does he borrow any of your stuff?
Oh, dude! I mean, come on! Every time I actually walked in there today, and I was like, "Where is my tape measure? Like, where is it?" And I called him, and I was like, "Did you take my tape measure?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you." Like, I can't tell you how many times I walk in there, and there's just tools missing, and it's kind of awesome, but at the same time, I'm like, "Come on!" I mean, I went to Home Depot the other day and bought him his own nail gun, and I was like, wrote a note on it, and I was like, "So you stop stealing mine? Like, I bought you your own." Kind of gave that to him, but I owe him. He taught me everything that I know, so I owe him a lot.
So he used to woodwork too?
Yeah, so he actually he's been doing a lot of more of like the carpentry and like home reno stuff. So, you know, he I mean, when I was 15, he handed me a hammer and was like, "All right, I'm taking you to a job site, let's go." And he was working on a house. And he was flipping a house for someone, and that's when I kind of just was like, "Oh my God, this is awesome," you know? So, yeah, he taught me everything, taught me how to use every tool, and yeah, so he's my hero. He's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's how it all starts. We're all young, and we have labor built into us. My son, just this week, almost 6 years old, and I don't even remember, he was complaining about something not being fair. Him and his cousin, my nephew, he's 7, and me and my brother just turned to him and like, "You want to know what fair is? Like, our spring break, we dug a trench probably 50 yards from my dad's house to the alley to replace the sewage pipe and backfilled it. That's what we got to do on our spring break. You're here swimming and running around a hotel eating junk food. Don't tell me about fair."
Well, when I was growing up, I was a pilot. I used to take dirt from over here, and I used to pile it over there.
Pilot.
So I kept teasing my parents that they didn't have us to love. They had us because they needed more labor help, you know, like plow the back 40 or something.
I have to say, I actually really liked it. Like my dad, whenever my dad picked up a new house to do, or an apartment to reno, or some sort of estate clean out, like I was always there helping him. I really liked it a lot. I wasn't a typical girl. I didn't like dancing. I didn't like, you know, pink. I hated girl stuff. So growing up, I really felt like one of the guys, like going to the job sites with him and getting my friends to come with me, and he would like pay me my friends for the day, and it was awesome. So yeah, I'm really grateful, because I always say, like, I never say practice makes perfect, because I don't think there's any perfect. I think there's always room to grow. And I think that I always say to him, thanks, because he gave me that room to really grow and learn. So I just like feel like every year I'm getting, and now I'm teaching him how to do things. It's like super cool. He's like, "Who are you?"
Well, it's pretty cool that you are kind of the legacy that he created. He taught you a lot of the stuff that you are now transferring into your own life, but you're also bringing a part of your life that he did not know how to do and didn't really have the access to do, and that's blogging your step-by-step tutorials and using the internet to get that out to a whole lot bigger audience than what you're normally used to. And that's kind of the topic that we're going to do today is talking about how blogging and woodworking and why it's important to basically help grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
what, in your experience, judging from just woodworking and then woodworking and blogging, if you can compare the two, how do you see that affecting your business as a woodworker or even a female in woodworking?
Yeah, so I'll give you a little background on why I started my blog. I originally started my blog because I was so busy with grad school and everything going on in my life that I was like, where is my time to be creative? Like, I'm a very creative person. I had no creative outlet. And I would just make things all the time by myself. And one day, one of my friends was like, why don't you make a blog? And I was like, what the hell is a blog? Like, what is that? And she was like, all right, I'll show you. And then I was like, all right, cool. So I started this blog where I was putting up like basic crafts at first. And I was like, not expecting anything out of it. It was just me putting things on this computer. So I had like sort of like my journal, my creative outlet. And then next thing I know, people were like, can I follow you on Facebook? Do you have an Instagram? Like, how can I see more projects? And I was like, whoa, people actually care. Like, that's really cool. So I started doing that for a while. And then while I was crafting, I have a small business where I make custom signs for like businesses or gifts for people. It started because I made, a sign for a local musician out in Montauk. And I was doing that. And I was like, why am I not doing this woodworking stuff on my blog? Like, why is there a big divide here? There shouldn't be. There are two huge parts of my life. So then, I started putting more basic woodworking stuff on my website. And I think that's really when I found my voice and when things started like expanding for me and blowing up and people were really following what I was doing. And it was really awesome. And I found too, doing those things brought people from like all over the world to come see what I'm doing. And then next thing I know, people from Canada or France are ordering my stuff for my business even. And I was like, whoa, I never expected that, So, it really, blogging definitely helped me on the business aspect. And now too, I find that people want to hire me to make projects that I've shown in my blog. I usually try to encourage they try to build them first, but if they really don't have the time, I'll do it. But it's kind of amazing how putting things onto a website really helps to get the word out about what you do, and then in turn can turn into something that you can really make money off of. It's really awesome.
That's really cool. I think that the blogging too, like you said, it just reaches a much broader audience outside of the U.S., outside of Canada. I mean, just across the sea. It's just open to the world that everybody can learn from your abilities and what you're doing, and providing these step-by-step tutorials, not just showing the end result of the project, but actually showing how you got to that point, brings a whole nother aspect of woodworking that really opens the door to a lot of DIYers that are even afraid to touch power tools, much less create a project.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many people contact me and they'll be like, I really love this project you did, but I have no clue how to use like a miter saw. Where do I start? And it's really cool to see that there's this audience of people who want to come here and who really want to come to my site and really want to learn and really want to kind of like get out of their comfort zone and be like, all right, I have no clue how to do this, but I'm going to come to you and ask you about it, and you're going to be the one to help me. It really creates like really cool new connections with people. And then it's very rewarding to see people grow. So then they show me what they made off my blog and I'm like in heaven. Like I walk around, like the emoji with the heart eyes. Like I always say, like I walk around like that when people tell me they made my stuff. But yeah, it's really awesome. It's really cool. It just keeps me on cloud nine all day long.
Yeah, that makes my day when I see people that have sent me pictures of projects that I've done on my videos, and they said that they just loved building it. And just to see it in somebody else's shop, made 100% by them, I'm just like, oh, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool.
All right, Drew, I'll make your day. I'll send you a picture of the miter sled I made.
Oh, okay. Wait, miter sled? I don't have I made one?
No, I don't know, what's that one that you got had at an angle? Where it sits at an angle to the blade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a miter sled. I was thinking my one that looks like an airplane. I was like, I haven't shown a video on that one yet.
No, your other one that I made like a year ago.
I did see a picture of that in one of your blog posts, though.
Did you?
You had some. I can't remember what you had sitting on it. You hadn't finished it. It was just a base with the.
With the hand.
I like
plane.
how she laughed. That's funny.
Oh, with the hand plane.
Yeah, a hand plane sitting on top of the base and the runner as well. I was like, okay,
because I'm pretty sure you used a hand plane.
I did. I used my big number 7 and just set it on there.
I think I used my number 5 jack. Is what I think is what I had on there.
Well, see, that wasn't authentic. Then you should have used a 7.
Well, I don't have a 7.
Oh, sorry.
I have a 4 and a 5, and I think a 60.5 block. And I actually am about to order the low angle jack. So,
well, now you got to find a 7.
No, I don't want a 7.
But yeah, send me a picture of it.
I will.
You're kind of in the blogging world a little bit too, aren't you?
Yeah, and I'm kind of torn. Like, if you go back and look at like previous projects, I have projects that have like full blog posts with them, very step by step, and very into detail. And then I think some of the more recent ones are just broke them down into steps, and kind of show the picture of, okay, this is what this step would look like, and then have a few words talking about it. So it's a lot less writing and a lot less reading. And I don't really know like where I want to be with that, for the pure fact that not everybody watches videos. I mean, there's people out there that just don't have the time to watch the videos. And so if I'm giving very little detail into the written post, are they still going to get something out of it? And I don't know. And so, yes, I do the blogging. I just haven't found a happy medium for where I'm happy writing them. You know, I don't want to get into the April size posts that it is a novel, but then I want to post more than a few words per step, just because there's, in each one of those steps, I may come across a problem that I had to figure out. Well, if I'm not telling the viewers about that problem, then they're really not going to learn, or they're going to be faced with that same problem and have to try to figure it out on their own. And so I don't feel like I'm doing them justice that way.
I feel you on this one, because it looks like I'm going to be on YouTube pretty soon. It's just crazy because I've never had intentions of doing YouTube videos, and then a lot of people were asking me for them, and I was like, I don't know. And then my little brothers, they both have YouTube channels for gaming. It's like what they do. They love it. They have a following, and they basically were like, why are you so scared? Like, stop being an idiot. Just do it. And so I was like, all right, fine. So I made this promise that when I hit a certain amount of followers on Instagram, I'll do a video. And my thing was like, well, then, you know, what happens to my blog? Because if I'm doing video tutorials, like, what happens to the things I'm doing? And my feel is like, I don't want to get rid of what I'm doing on my blog. Like, doing step-by-step tutorials works for people. It has been working for people. I mean, for me personally, like, if I'm sitting at work and I don't want my boss knowing I'm slacking off, like, I'm not going to watch YouTube videos about things, but I might read a blog post, you know? But I hope she's not listening. But
well,
yeah,
she is. You're at least in the same boat.
Yeah, right.
She does this too.
Probably. But yeah, so my thought was like, you know, why can't it be both in a way? Like, why can't I do a video for the people who are very visual that way and want to watch me do the video and watch me run around like a little ant in my shop really fast, like doing things, you know? But then at the same time, you know, stay true to what I'm doing on my blog, do the step-by-steps. It only takes a few seconds for me to whip out my camera while I'm doing something, take a picture of it, and then change my words into writing. And that way it provides a way for the people who don't necessarily have the time to watch a 15-minute video to go to my page, scroll through my pictures, get a general idea, and then decide whether or not they feel like they can do the project.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat. I feel you on that one.
Well, if there's one thing, I learned actually a couple things. One of them, I learned something from April, and then another one I learned from Jay, and I kind of combined the two. Mm-hmm. When I first met April, and started discussing about her blog, because that's what she was doing a lot of before she started doing videos, is that the blog really relates to the female audience a lot more than YouTube does, which is a more male audience. Women like to read. They like to see pictures with words and then combine those two to perform their task.
Makes so much sense. I'm like thinking as a lady, that's what I like to do.
Exactly. Women like to read. And I myself, being a male, I like to see visual video. I'm more of a, where's the picture? I gotta see a picture. But like my wife, she loves to read. She would much rather read than watch videos. So what I learned from Jay is he does his videos, but he also extracts images from his videos to make a blog. So on his webpage, and April started doing this too, and so have I, is posting the video at the very top. It's just an embedded video, and then your blog step-by-step instruction will be down below it. And if there are anything that you had a problem that you had to solve in your video, it's referred to in your blog post with a clickable link, or just say, check out the video above to find, the problem that I solved with this particular issue. I think meshing the two, you don't have to give up one to get another. You're not sacrificing anything. You're just combining the two. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit more time on your hands, because I know that whenever I spend 3 or 4 hours editing a video and I get it uploaded and scheduled, then I got to turn right around and do a blog post about it. So it's somehow in the beginning kind of daunting, because I've only been doing it for about 7 or 8 videos now. But I really like the feedback that I'm getting on the blogs, and I'm getting a lot more web traffic because of it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense though. And I mean, yeah, it's time consuming, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I guess for me too, like coming specifically from somebody who started with a blog, like that's my baby, like that's my kid. Like I birthed that thing and raised it. Like, so for me, like I don't want to lose that. And I definitely think that there is a happy medium where I can figure out, just like I figured out a way to streamline my blog, I can figure out a way to streamline videos. And yeah, it's going to take a while. I'm sure there's a learning curve with YouTube. Like I said, I'm just starting out, but yeah, it's just, I really want to be able to marry the two in like a very successful way.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of in the opposite boat you are. I started the videos, so the videos are my baby.
Right.
But yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing, is not sacrifice one for the other, and just try and make them both work.
Well, we're gonna gang up on you, Drew, because both of us are starting the videos.
Team blog.
Yeah. No, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like just time. Like I don't want to do one without the other, and so finding the time to do the video and do the blog post is just so hard. And that's why I've never committed to a schedule. For one, I don't know, my work schedule day by day usually changes, but just being able to do the video and then put out an adequate blog post is important to me, and trying to figure that out. And I guess I'll never figure it out if I don't try. So
that's the thing, yeah. That's basically the biggest answer I give to people is like, you just don't know until you try. And if you fail, so what? You pick yourself back up and you try something else. Like for the most part, the community that I feel like the maker community that's part of like YouTube or social media in general is very supportive. The people I've met have been, for the most part, like 99.6% of the people have been very, very supportive, and they're there to help you learn. And I mean, when I first started, granted, I would ask questions and questions and questions, and I would have people ignore me and like not help me at all. And when that's why, for me, I vow that if people have questions, I'm there no matter what. Like it might take me a few days, but I will get back to your question. And now I found though that because I've become part of a very the community that I finally I'm supposed to be a part of, that community is there to help me. So that's the thing. If you fail, you just either ask for help or you pick yourself back up, and somebody is willing to be like, all right, this doesn't work, but this does, or I like that you made that change. So there's always people there who are gonna help you through that anyway.
Yeah. I like this girl, Jeremy. She's got a really good outlook.
I would say it's like my yoga thoughts, my positivity.
Well, she's going to be a doctor. I mean.
Oh, yeah, true. Well, yeah, you got to have a good outlook. You're going to be a doctor.
I like helping people. I do. I mean, that's why I said, like, man, when I first started blogging, I sent not even really like very basic questions to people, like, hey, do you have any advice on this, or like, how can I do this, or like, how can I get to where you are? And these people would like flat out either, like, I would see them read, like, in Facebook would be like read, like message read, but no response. And I was like, that sucks. Like, I just took time to write you. Funny part is, like, those people follow me now on social media, and I'm like, well, how the tables have turned, you know? But like, if they were to reach out to me and ask me a question, I would absolutely give them an answer. Like, why shouldn't you? You know, I get messages every day from people who are like starting a blog and want advice, or don't know how to use a power tool and we're scared to ask somebody else for fear of being judged. And it shouldn't be that way. Like, you know, if you're branding yourself and you want this business and you want to blog and you want to be, you know, somebody that somebody else looks up to, then you also have to be that person who's willing to put aside 5 minutes of your time and just give another person some love, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. No, and that's when I get questions, and we get them through the podcast too, and it's just sometimes like I kind of feel like I'm being, I guess, not very helpful, because I try to point them back to a previous post or a previous podcast episode or something, because I want to, yes, one, drive that traffic, but it gives them an outlook, because if I just flat out give you the answer that you want, then it's that mentality of, you know, growing up. My parents made me figure it out. And
absolutely.
So here's the thing is, like, I don't mind helping you, but go back and read this article or watch this video, whether it be my video or Drew's video, or Bob Claggett's video, it doesn't matter. But that way they're like, oh, okay, well, next time before I ask that question, maybe I'll go YouTube it, or maybe I'll Google it. And that's that constant battle I have with my wife all the time. She always asks me questions, and for one, I either know it or I don't know it, but I'm going to find it. I'm going to go to Google. Well, I tell her, Google it. Like,
that's what Google's for.
Like, find it. If you still have questions, then ask. I'll help you, but do that legwork. And I kind of feel bad when I tell followers to do that, or they'll recommend a podcast topic, and I'm like, hey, we already did that. Hey, go check out this episode. If you still have questions or you have a different outlook on it, let us know, and we'll see if we can incorporate that into some kickback.
I mean, you can't feel bad about giving those answers. You can't, because sometimes it's exactly what they were looking for. I mean, I'll tell you, like, the number one question I get is, how do you make stencils? Because, like, I have my custom sign business, and I don't necessarily use stencils for all of my signs. Like, sometimes I'll freehand them, but like, yeah, like I make stencils, and like there are times in my tutorials like that I'll be like, you can make a stencil for this. Want to learn how to make a stencil? Click on this link. It'll take you to my stencil post, you know? So like sometimes people are like, okay, how do I make a stencil? And then I'll send them the link to my post, and they're like, oh my God, that was exactly what I was looking for. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, I was thinking of something else. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like this is how I can help you, you know? So really, I get it. Like I feel that way too. I'm like, sometimes I give answers and I'm like, I don't even know if that was helpful, but most of the time it is. Most of the time they're like, this was great. This is what I was looking for.
Yeah. And in fact, Drew, and you may know how to do this. I saw it on maybe it was one of Bob's videos. I don't remember, but in a post they put, you know, click this link and it'll take you directly to the spot in the video where I talked about this. Do you know how to get a link directly to a specific clip in the video?
I haven't done that yet, and I think that is done in the editing portion of the YouTube video, not in your editing software. I think you have to actually edit it in YouTube's editing software. The creator's
side of it.
Yes, and I think you can pick the time frame from there.
I was about to be like, go ask Google.
Go ask Google. Don't ask Drew.
I was just go to Bob Claggett's little area here, but no.
I don't even remember. It may be his video. I don't know. It could have been like April's. I don't remember. I just remember seeing it in the last few weeks. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that. And put it on the back burner for me to think about on the next video. Because it's just like that, like what you were talking about in the blog post. Hey, reference this video above to see this like specific thing. Well, if you can put that specific link to that 30-second part of the clip, be like, hey, click this link and it'll take you exactly to that where you need to be in that video.
Like, I do know that if you comment on a specific video with a time frame, you can just type out the time manually underneath that video, and it will take you to that specific time frame.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Because I have viewers do that all the time. They're like, oh, at 0.45 or 0:45, you did this, and if you click that time, then it will take you to that part of the video.
Those little hacks before I got on YouTube. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, see, I know a lot of the ins and outs because I have a few videos up. I think 8 or 10 videos, but I said I just can't ever dedicate the time to do that and the blog post and run the business. And now that and you wouldn't believe how many calls I've actually already turned down, Drew, for people wanting things
custom
done.
stuff.
Yeah, in fact, I got a call while I was on vacation. Somebody wanted me to fix a dining room table. And I hadn't called her back yet. I'm going to call her back today. And it doesn't sound like it's going to be too difficult, but I might stop by and just kind of talk to the lady and show her how she could possibly fix it.
I like that.
But I'm not, it's been hard turning down business.
I feel you on that. I feel like I have this problem where I never say no to opportunities.
Yeah. And
I'm always like, yes, yes, yes. And then that literally came to like bite me this month because I said yes to too many things and now I'm like overwhelmed. And to the point where like this really awesome job opportunity just came in and I was like, I hands down like cannot even say yes to you if I even wanted to. And it's really like, that's the hard part, like being makers. Like we want to like give our art and our talents and like our advice or whatever we can to other people. But like, it's exhausting because we never say no. Like I find that we never say no.
Yeah.
And if you're doing full-time job or full-time schooling or both, you just don't have the time. You really don't. That's one reason why I don't do custom work anymore, because doing all the YouTube videos, the blog posts, the website stuff, I just don't have the time anymore. So, I mean, that's one thing when people ask, can you make this for me? I'm like, if you'd asked me, 3 or 4 years ago, yeah, but not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm getting under the mentality now that I'm not going to turn down everything. If I can incorporate it into a video or a blog post, then I'm going to do that. But yeah, if it's make the 30th dining room table that you've done this year, I'm not going to. I'm sorry. Here's a blog post or a video. You can do it yourself. If you don't have time, I can refer you to other people I know. But it was just one of those considerations of okay, I'm used to making this much money extra on my business. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to live and still get by without making that money for the time being. It may be a year or 2 years, but I got to figure it out until I can start pulling that income through other channels via YouTube and AdSense and sponsorships and stuff like that. And that was one of the biggest decisions that I had to sit down and kind of weigh out. Like, okay, I'm going to start saying no to money. Let me figure out how I'm going to get by without that. And then if I'm okay with that, then, I at least I'll be happy about that decision. I'll move forward and start putting that passion into something else.
Yeah. I mean, I would say money is that key word that everyone always comes up with is like money, money, money. But like my thing was like when I was doing the crafting blog, like, okay, I was making money off of it, but I wasn't passionate about it. And it made me hate blogging. Like it made me really like so uninspired, and I had to do some soul searching. And that's when like I realized like, okay, maybe like at the time I was like, maybe this woodworking thing won't make me any money or make me other followers or whatever, but it makes me happy. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to figure out how to adjust the rest of my life to make this work, because it's my passion. It makes me happy. Yeah. It's just, you got to figure out, is happiness more important than money? And I vote yes, Yeah.
And that, Drew and I talked about this on another episode. And it's, if getting to the point, like all I do, and especially over the last 4 years, like living down here has just been crazy for like farmhouse style tables. And the first few, gave me a lot of variation of what I could do. But then word of mouth was like, oh, I want it exactly like so-and-so's. Oh, I want this exactly like this. Here's a picture on Pinterest. I want it to look exactly like this. Or here's a shanty two chic table. Like, I want you to make this. And it just started to kill that creative side of me. And that's exactly it, is I lost that passion for doing it. Mm-hmm. And then I would dread getting out in the shop and working on that. And then like, I'd put it off and put it off and put it off because I'm working on things that I want to do. And then it gets me in a bind. I'm like, all right, well, I got to hurry up and I got to knock this table out in 2 weeks because I promised this person they would have their table in 3 weeks. And so it just, starting off in this January and just was like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm turning down commissions on a big scale. If there's small things like pin turnings and things like that I can knock out in 30 or 45 minutes or don't take a lot of my time, then I don't mind doing that. And there's a few repeat customers that I still don't mind doing things for, just because I know I'm only going to build them so many dining room tables. After I build one or two, they possibly don't need any more. But yeah, I mean, I've turned down a lot, and really I try to put more of that time into that blogging. And I got to the point that I made a section on my website of just like articles. And so I could just type my thoughts, like whatever I want to talk about, like what do I want to do next in woodworking, or why am I scared to do some certain project or whatever. Like I can just write that out and it may not be somebody going to follow it because they want to read a tutorial about it, but they're going to follow it because they're interested in who I am as a person. And I think connecting with people on a personal level helps grow that business and wants them to kind of come back and follow more of what you do.
Absolutely.
And I think that's creates your following because they're going to give word of mouth. They're going to be like, oh, hey, look, Jeremy does all this stuff, and like they feel like they know a lot about me as a person and know about my life, and then they want to bring other people in and be like, hey, check this guy out. So I don't do that to Drew. I steer everybody clear of Drew. Don't watch that guy.
Well, it sounds like this is a rabbit hole that is just going to vastly expand as we talk about it. But if there's anybody out there that is a blogger, much like Sam is, or Jeremy, or even myself, if you do videos and blog at the same time, and you want to share some insight about this, we would love to hear it.
Absolutely.
Just send us a voicemail. Voicemails are really great. I don't know about you guys, but our last show, we had 2 voicemails to listen to, and I was just like, yeah. So I really like hearing the voicemails, but if you want to leave comments in the show notes or down in the YouTube comments, just to give us some insight on how you do your blogging, we would really love to hear it. But I think we need to carry on a little bit more. We're going to get really carried away here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about some products that we want to recommend. We'll start with you, Sam. What's something that you want to recommend to people that like you just makes your life easier, or you just really enjoy using?
This was such a hard question because there's like just so much stuff that I love. But recently, I've been really enjoying my Craig Rip Cut circular saw guide. It's just been like making my life so much easier. Especially because I work in a small area and it's been getting nice out now, so I'm able to kind of pull all of my material outside, and I don't necessarily have to lug like my miter saw or my table saw with me. I just take the circular saw and the guide, and it's really awesome and it's on point, and yeah, everyone get one.
Yeah, I have one of those things, and I really like it for breaking down my sheet goods, and it's a cheaper alternative than to buying a track saw from like Triton or Festool or Grizzly or DeWalt. It attaches to your hopefully you already have a circular saw, whether it be battery operated or corded. And so I know why you really enjoy that, because it just makes it easy.
Yeah, it's easy and it's budget friendly, and like that's one of my biggest things is I'm all about the budget. I'm a college student, like I'm in a PhD program. I'm in a lot of debt. I'm all about the budget. So it's definitely budget friendly, and it makes my life a lot easier. So it's one of my most recommended tools at this point, or products at this point.
That's funny because I just saw a commercial for the Rip Cut guide on. I was watching Sling TV's HGTV stuff, and then they had a commercial for that particular product. I was like, oh, okay,
interesting. I like it.
Just get one, Drew.
Yeah, I don't have one yet.
Just get one.
What are you waiting for?
It's blue. Kind of matches your shop.
It is blue. I'll give you that. It needs to have a little more black in it to match a little bit better.
So paint the silver stuff black.
Might get a little sticky.
So, all right, Drew, what do you want to recommend?
Well, something that I came across because of April, and I've mentioned her a couple times, is because mainly we've been doing these visits to Rockler here lately, but she has been using a portable slim drive, like an external hard drive that plugs in through a USB port on your laptop, and I've been having some issues with doing video work that whenever I import the raw footage into my computer, it just loads up my hard drive, and then I have hardly any room to do my editing, and I have to unload things here and unload things there to make room on my hard drive to do it. So she turned me onto that Seagate portable slim drive, and it's specifically for Mac, but you can buy one for Windows if you wanted to. But it really helps getting my raw footage into one place so I can import it into the computer as needed and not do the whole thing at once. Which also allows me to take that drive, and this is something she does too, and I really like the idea, is to do the entire year on one drive, and you can keep your raw footage, and you can keep your edited footage, and anything else that was attached to those videos, and then label it 2016 or Season 4, and then just unplug it, and then put it somewhere where you can find it later if you need to, and then just buy you another one. They're only like $80. And that's a really small investment for something that can last you the whole year. That's a super huge tool when it comes to video editing.
Yeah, I have one of those actually. I use it more for my dissertation because I'm afraid I'm going to lose everything because that would be the worst. But yeah, I use it and it's great. And I actually, before I got a Mac, had a Windows and I was still using whatever product they had back then. Mm-hmm. So that's a really great one to recommend.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I'm going to jump on board with that. I don't have the Slim. I have, let's see, which one I have here. I got a couple Seagate. I have a portable, I don't even know what this is, but it's that one there. That's 1 terabyte. And right now, I went ahead and cleaned everything off of it. I don't really use it much right now, especially since I got the new computer. And I bought a 3 terabyte Seagate specifically for the Mac. And I'm using right now. I use it primarily for everything to do with the podcast. But I'm in the flux of deciding what to keep and what to get rid of. Do I really need to keep all the raw footage from our very first episode? I don't know, because I don't think I'll ever go back and try to re-edit it to re-upload it. As long as I keep all the edited stuff, I think that's good enough. Just because, especially when we started doing the YouTube, upload them to YouTube, like one file is like 6 or 7 gigs, and that just loads up so much. And I started using a program called Handbrake that takes that 6 or 7 gigs and makes it into a much smaller, probably at least half, if not 3/4, smaller of a file size. So but I'm like you, Sam. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose stuff. So there's nothing. I don't keep anything on my computer hard drive. And
I can't tell if that makes me cautious or a hoarder, but like
both.
I feel like
I'm with you. I don't have anything. Like every document, everything gets uploaded either to iCloud, so I can access all my documents via the cloud. But anything that videos, anything like that. In fact, my entire iTunes library is ran off an external hard drive because I'm afraid I'm going to lose it. My hard drive is going to crash, whatever it is. Slow down the computer. I don't know, but I don't keep anything on it. So external hard drive is definitely a plus. So, and I'm going to jump on that real quick, Drew, that you don't have to buy one for a Mac. If you have a Mac, whatever one you have, as long as it's clear, nothing's on there, you can reformat it to work on a Mac. And that's vice versa. If you buy the one specifically for a Mac, you can reformat it to work on a Windows PC.
Oh.
It will wipe everything out. Once you reformat it, it will delete every piece of content on there. But you can reformat them to work for which one. And there actually is, I think it's NTFS type formatting, is compatible across both. That's what I had that little Seagate portable one, and it ended up after 4 years messing up on me. So I had to reformat it, and now that I don't use anything Windows anymore, I just reformatted it for a Mac. But that is a possibility.
Very cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Just go into your disk utility, and you can do that. But if you buy a Windows PC, I'm going to laugh at you.
No, crap, no. I'm not. I'm never going back to Windows.
So, all right, well, let's see. I'm going to recommend a respirator. It's going to be the 3M 6500 QL, and the QL stands for quick release. I really find that I really strive to start doing things more cautious, a little safer. And like I've always worn my eye protection, not really so much on my hearing protection, just because I don't like what I have, and I need to get to where I need to buy something that I really am going to enjoy and want to wear. That's what I did with the respirator. The one I had to constantly take off if I wanted to take a drink or I wanted to talk, and I liked 3M because you can change out the filters, so I can have just a nice lightweight filter for all my regular tasks, and then when I go to finishing, I can put on an organic vapor cartridge to filter out for my finishing processes. But this one in particular has really stuck out to me because it has a little latch that you just pull down and it drops the entire face mask down, so you can talk, you can drink, whatever, and it stays strapped around your head. You flip that little lever back up, and it locks it back into your face. And it's super cheap. I think I paid $25 for it from Amazon, and the little particulate filters cost like maybe $5 for a pair, and like your vapor cartridges last I think another $10 for the pair, and they last a long time. I can, as much as I do, I probably make my particulate filters last a couple months, 2 to 3 months. Once it gets harder to breathe, then you really need to replace them. But
are they easy to find in places other than Amazon?
I think Home Depot or Lowe's.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I might have saw them in Home Depot.
Yeah, I think it's Home Depot or Lowe's. One sells the 3M. I think both sell the 3M product line, and I don't think you'll be able to find the 6500 QL in there because I've only found it on Amazon. But the filters you can pick up at
either one,
big box stores. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. I have to look at that one. But I need a good respirator.
I mean, I like it through Amazon because their filters you can put on their subscribe and save program, and so they ship to me like once every 2 months. I get a new filter, and that way I know when I get it. Regardless, I just replace it. And I think the organic vapor, I think I get that about every 3 months, just because I don't use it as much. I only use it for finishing, so yeah, you definitely. I know around the woodworking community or the YouTube community right now, everybody seems to be getting those Velcro ones that kind of look like the gator masks, like what April wears, Steve Carmichael wears. I don't know. I don't have that, but and I've kind of been thinking about giving that a shot, but then I go back to why this one works and I really like it.
Right.
And the fact that I can use it for both organic vapors and for particulates. So that's why I go with it. However, it is, obviously bulkier here than the one that they use. So under like a face shield or something like that, it's a little bit harder. But I enjoy it. So,
well, maybe we'll get some comments from some people that have used any of these recommendations. Cool.
Yeah, or something else that people use. I mean, I know there's several out there. So,
very nice.
All right. Well, if you guys would like to support the show, you can head over to www.woodshop101.com/listen and find the show notes for today's episode or for any of the episodes. And inside that particular show note, you'll find links for small one-time donations. That just helps us keep the lights on and keep running. And, it's definitely no means supporting us full-time on this thing. We do this because we love it, but, everything helps because each year we have recurring costs on website hosting and things like that. So, and if you guys can't donate, head over to iTunes. If you listen to us over there, leave us a rating and a review. That'll help us get on that new and noteworthy page. And, hopefully we'll gain some more followers or some more listeners. So, in fact, don't quote me on a timeline, but I am trying to get us listed on whatever program Android uses. I've been doing some research into that because I know Jay's podcast does that, and I think that's probably another good avenue for us to go. So I don't know when it's going to happen because it took me a couple weeks to get on iTunes, but I am trying to get us over on the Android platform as well.
Very cool. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah, I hadn't done much this last week, but it's on that to-do list to get done. So one of these days it will happen.
Awesome. Well, Sam, since you have been a wonderful guest host, I'm sure that there are some people that would love to know how to get a hold of you. So why don't you give them your contact info?
Yeah, sure. You can either find me on social media under DIYHuntress, or if you want to shoot me an email, have questions, just want to chat, my email is hello@DIYHuntress.com. And I definitely would look forward to talking to a new audience of people who listen to the podcast.
Very cool. Jeremy, what about yourself, man?
You can find me over at countrysideworkshop.com. I'm pretty much most active on Facebook and Instagram. In fact, I'm really active on Instagram lately. I think Instagram's probably about the easiest way because you can shoot out just quick pictures and comments. Like you don't get sucked into everybody's personal life and stuff. In fact,
I don't know about you. I get sucked into a lot of people's personal lives on Instagram.
Oh, really? Well, see, I'm very picky and choosy on who I follow on Instagram for the pure fact that I use it just for business. If I were to start another one that was personal, then I possibly could, but I tend to steer clear of a lot of that.
Power to you. I scroll for like hours, so power to you.
Well, see, that's how I am on Facebook. I'm like, crap, man. Like, okay, let's talk about these people's kids again. Like,
put down the phone.
Yeah, exactly. So, where can we find you at, Drew?
You can find me mainly through my website at rhwoodshop.com. There you're going to find a contact page that has all of my social media links, email links, just any possible way that you can get a hold of me. And I don't have the Woodshop 101 links in there yet. I do need to get those added. But if you need to get a hold of all of us somehow or another, even if you want to get a hold of Sam, you can still give us a message through there and we can forward any info to her. But if you go to woodshop101podcast.com/listen, there you're going to find all of the episodes that you can stream on any device, as well as the email, which is woodshop101podcast@gmail.com. You can drop us a line there. If you have a question that you want answered, we would be happy to give that some feedback and a Q&A session on our next episode. Also, we have a voicemail through our Skype account, but if you do not want to use that, you can actually use our brand new fandangled voicemail at area code 409-234-3959. We'd love to get these voicemails. We'd like to feature them on the show. and doing a Q&A answer on the voicemails it just kind of makes our day. So that is the many, many ways to get in contact with just about any one of us that you can imagine. So, Sam, I don't know if you have watched my videos enough to know at the very end, we tend to do a little sign-off on this podcast that's been adopted from my YouTube page. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you?
I've watched your videos, but I don't know if I've actually seen the sign-off. I'm like going to be caught off guard now. I like it.
She just cuts off. She just doesn't. But no, we do a boom sign-off on all these podcasts because Jeremy liked to adopt it. So we are going to do a 1, 2, 3, and then a big boom just to give everybody a little bit of a goodbye.
Just like this, big boom.
Well, you can do whatever you want.
That's what you just did, so I don't know.
As long as you scream it, I don't care. But no, from Jeremy, myself, and our wonderful guest host, Sam Raimondi, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, see, I did it right. I'm not even family.
Can you say Dima's last name?
My family, everyone pronounces it differently, so you could have said anything you wanted, and I would have told you it was right.
Like this is the exact same conversation we had with Dima. Can you remember how to say his?
No.
Dima, I think.
Dima, there you go.
Is that it? I don't know.
There you go, Dima. There you got it. I got a little shout out. Hopefully you listen to the very end here. But anyway, we want to wish you guys well. We want to thank you for tuning in to this particular podcast. We want to thank Sam for being our guest host. It was a wonderful experience. And Sam, I hope you enjoyed yourself too.
Yeah, it was a really cool time. I had a really awesome time talking to you guys today.
All right. Well, we want to wish you guys well. Be safe in your shops. And from all three of us, 1, 2, 3.
Boom!
Boom.